Hi, my name is Amber. When I was a little girl, I dreamed big dreams and believed in the fairy tales and the Prince Charmings. I didn't know the life ahead of me and the confusion it would bring. When I was 7 years old, my grandmother died. I was very close to my grandma, and I remembered asking and thinking, why do people have to die? I remember blaming myself for her death because I wasn't there to help her. I experienced deep regret for the first time in my life because I didn't get a chance to say goodbye.
What does love look like is the question I've been pondering.
When I was 15, I witnessed my best friend die in a car wreck right in front of me. It was Christmas Eve, and she was on her way home. I witnessed her flipping the car and dead on the side of the road. I remember running in the bitter cold to my grandma's house, screaming to get blankets and call 911. She was just lifeless, and I just remember like the boots and the jeans and the jacket, and it was just kind of frozen in my mind. She was literally alive and dead all at the same time. I was just very numb, lost and angry as to why God would take such an amazing person. And I found myself questioning, why do people leave? Why do bad things happen to people in my life that I love? When I was 18, I decided to have an abortion. I was in a relationship with a guy that was quite a bit older than me, and he wasn't very nice, and my parents didn't like him, and I felt that would fix all my problems. It was going to fix my parents being upset that I was pregnant, him being, a horrible boyfriend in general. In all reality, all it did was fix everybody else's problems and ruin bits and pieces of me at the very same time. I remember being led into a room with a whole group of girls just like me, sitting there waiting to have their babies killed. Nobody really talked or anything. Nobody really looked at anyone else. They called each of our names just one by one. I remember they told me it was just tissue. They didn't tell me that it had a heartbeat. They did an ultrasound, but they don't let you look at it. They turn it away. No words can literally describe how bad I felt afterwards. They don't tell you the reality of the situation. They don't tell you the sheer devastating loss that you're gonna feel afterwards. You caused your own pain. It was at your own hands that you feel this bad. The severe guilt and self-hatred just was almost too much. My friends and my family just kept telling me to forgive myself and you have to move on, and I wanted to, but I didn't know how. Since then, I've been through a few more relationships, loving men unconditionally and trying to make them happy, always putting them before myself. But I never received any unconditional love back. It was always taken for granted. I kept seeking it, seeking approval, and trying to please at the expense of my own well-being. I realize now that I was looking for him in all of the hymns that I was dating.
Arms wide open, he was bleeding love's definition.
4 years later, I found myself doing what I vowed to never do again. I was pressured to have another abortion. An unbelievable self-hatred consumed me and led to distrust, suspicion, and inability to care about myself or others. I was so just devastated about what I was doing to myself. I was broken, but I didn't know how to fix me. I felt like I'd failed my family, myself, and the babies that I had taken.
What does love look like is the question
I ended up moving to Tulsa. I wanted to be like something totally different than any person I'd been before. Went out quite a bit. I drank. That's all I would do. And I was just lost. I was empty. There was nothing. I ended up pregnant again, and Actually, the very first thought that came into my head was, he doesn't want me to have him or something, and that was in my first gut reaction when I found out. I'm real thankful that he didn't ever say anything. Then I had Rafe. I thought of the two that I didn't have, but I was so happy.
What does love look like? If all of life comes down to love, then tell me, what does love look like? Is the question I've been pondering.
Through decisions I had made in another broken relationship, I hit rock bottom. This time I didn't think I was going to make it. I had always been able to pick myself back up, but this time I just didn't think it was possible. I began questioning my abilities to exist in every direction that I looked. It seemed that I was the common denominator in all the problems that surrounded me in my life. All these years of trying to please people had gotten me nowhere except for feeling helpless. I found myself driving one night, just wanting to close my eyes and keep driving. I didn't want to hurt anymore. Something beyond anything told me to open my eyes, and I cried out to God to please help me. I can't do this anymore. I don't know how to put me back together this time. That's when I met Kelly and Andrea. When I met her, I was really touched and drawn to Kelly, and I couldn't explain why. I just felt like there was something she was going to show me or lead me to, and I didn't know what it was. Those were almost my exact words to my mom. Very shortly after I had talked to my mom about that the 12 days of Christmas happened. It's not very often that people just give things just to give and because they want to. They were giving me things just literally out of the goodness of their heart. They didn't even know me. These people were just leaving them for me. The books that I was given, Redeeming Love, I read the whole thing in like 2 days. It was an amazing story, and it was exactly what I needed. These people, they touched my life, and I didn't even know them. That gave me back so much faith and belief in people, and my heart was just overwhelmed. And I went to church, and I've never felt like that before. I felt home. I felt that everybody loved me for me. Kelly began talking to me about God and how he loves unconditionally, and that he has a purpose for my life, that he can forgive me like I've never been forgiven before, that he can satisfy me and give me joy that I had never experienced before. I always thought I needed to get myself together before I came to God, but Kelly told me that I don't have to know everything, and I don't have to have my act all the way together, that I can just come to him as I am. I feel an excitement and joy about God's plan and purpose for my life. I still have struggles and things that I go through daily, but I know that there's light at the end of my tunnel. I now have someone to turn to that will show me what is right. I know that God can use my story to help others. I know that others will be able to see and experience what I have experienced, and that's a personal relationship with my Savior, Jesus Christ, and that the unconditional love, grace, mercy, and healing that he has given to me